Hi, welcome to It Takes Two Takes. My name is Adam, and today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm not going to be reviewing a trailer or a show or a movie. I'm going to be talking about a topic that is fairly dear and close to me. That's the topic of anime.
You don't have to watch it, you know.
Well,
I just don't get it.
No, I'd say that it's obvious that you don't.
What I don't get is how you can be such a fan of this anime stuff.
Now, if you've watched any of the previous videos, you may have noticed once or twice I may have mentioned that I like anime. Many of you might like anime too. Maybe you got introduced to it thanks to Cartoon Network or a friend or who knows. But how did I get into it?
I want to know too!
So do I.
I wouldn't mind knowing. I really couldn't care less.
Honestly, I've been into anime almost my entire life. I just didn't realize it. Going back past what I even remember, apparently I was watching Speed Racer when I was little. My folks tell me that. I don't remember because I was apparently like 3.
Go Speed Racer, go!
What I do remember though, is I remember watching, the normal cartoons everyone watches, Tom and Jerry, Transformers, He-Man, Thundercats. But there are also other cartoons that at the time, I didn't realize they were anime. These are shows like Tranzor Z, Star Blazers, Robotech, Voltron. These were all cartoons I watched growing up, and I had no idea they were anime at the time. They were just cool cartoons that happened with robots or in space or something along those lines. They were just neat cartoons. So in my teenage years is when I started to understand the concept of anime. I was picking up on my antenna on my TV, I guess my cable was out or something, but I was picking up a distant channel on my TV, and I noticed one night that they were playing these cartoons that didn't look familiar. And it was at like 9, 10 o'clock at night. The other thing that struck me about them was they were very graphic content, but they weren't editing it out from the traditional, we're gonna cut that out. It was more, we're gonna pixelate it so you still have an idea of what's going on, but we're just not gonna have it in there. So I started watching the station every week to see what was there. And it was neat. These cartoons that were obviously not geared for little kids were speaking to me. And I'm a teenager. I admit, as a teenager, some of the stuff was probably just fun for me because I was a teenager.
Oh, look at that butt! Do you mind?
Too much.
But in any case, it was cartoons that started to speak to an older version of the kid that was inside of me. I enjoyed cartoons. Many of you might still enjoy cartoons. Maybe you like Disney movies. Maybe you like SpongeBob. Don't judge.
Order, I say!
You can kiss my ass, biatch!
What? What did you say?
I like cartoons. And as a teenager, these were cartoons that were older than what I had grown out of. But this got me interested. Where can I find these animes? And I didn't know they were called anime at the time, but where could I find these cartoons? The next time I was in my local video store shop, I was walking around and I noticed there was an animation section that was not near the little kids or family area. There was a children's area, there was a family area, and then off on this other side, there was an animation area. So I started looking through it. That's when I started to notice some of the things I had watched on this remote TV station. And all of a sudden, it clicked. Great! Here's the cartoons I wanted to see, and here they are uncensored. So I started renting them. I started watching them, and I was enjoying them. So I started watching these videos and renting them, but I was running out of them. The video store didn't have a big section of them, so I had to start looking for more places.
3 of them.
Piece of cake.
Yeah.
So I made a deal with this local mom and pop rental store that if they would let me buy anime at their price, they could watch it before giving it to me. That way they could see if it was something they wanted to stock. And that was great. I was able to get these anime movies that, I had heard of or I found out about, but I couldn't find anywhere. And they were ordering them, they would watch them, and then they would give them to me. And of course I would pay them whatever it was it cost them. But then if they liked it, they would also buy another copy that they would stock in the store. The problem was anime on VHS was expensive. You'd spend $30 for maybe 2 episodes of an anime. So 40 minutes for $30. It was really expensive. So most of the time I stuck to movies and OVAs, which are small little, not full series or, a few episodes. But I'd stick to these things where I could get everything on a single disc, pay the $30, and that was it. But I bought very little anime because I was poor and I was young.
Lovely warrior, cutie honey!
Fast forward a little bit, and now DVDs come out. Well, now I'm finding anime on DVD, but they're putting more episodes on a disc for either the same or less than they were charging for the VHS.
I'm back.
Nice one, Master. There's nothing like a little evil deed to perk you up, is there?
Oh, yeah.
So another thing started happening around this same time frame, where Cartoon Network was putting anime on during Toonami and during Adult Swim. So during Toonami, you'd have stuff like Dragon Ball Z and Tenchi Muyo.
Ooh, what is it? I want to see.
During Adult Swim, you'd have stuff like Cowboy Bebop and Outlaw Star.
Oh, yeah, right.
Then what is it? It's not in the database, right?
Well, then.
Look, these pairs are abnormal.
You think so?
Ed has never seen this before.
And these were nice. I got to watch anime and stuff like that, and it was fun. And I still like Dragon Ball Z, in case you're curious.
Dry your tears! We're going to the park now!
I was still yearning for more anime, and so I was buying the stuff a lot on DVD and just enjoying it. The other thing I started doing was I started organizing anime nights with my friends. So I gotten some of my friends interested in more anime, and so once a week we'd all get together and we'd watch a whole lot of anime. And it was great. We'd hang out, we'd drink, we'd watch anime. It was a good time.
Don't stop!
Come this way!
Now, during all of this, the next thing that happened was I found out about anime conventions. They're like comic book conventions, only geared specifically about anime. So, me and my friends decided to go check one out a couple hours away. We did, had a blast. We were hooked at that point on. We loved it. We were surrounded by a bunch of people who liked anime. There was a dealer's room where we could buy anime stuff, figures, posters, all that at a cheap rate, or at least cheaper than we were getting locally. We saw all these people dressed as our favorite characters. It was wonderful. So we started going to more anime conventions. The other thing that was happening, though, around that same time was the internet was starting to become much more of a viable place for pirated video. So anime started getting onto the internet, and you'd get it faster than it was coming over here traditionally on DVDs. So if you were a pirate, you could go out, get all the brand new stuff that just came out as it was airing, watch it, and you'd be up to date with those people that were in Japan. There were whole groups of people that were taking the time to translate and fan subtitle these animes and distribute them. And it was great if you're poor to sit there and watch a whole lot of anime. So you got to see it before it ever got to dub.
It's not safe!
Sylph, spirit of wind, protect them.
The good thing about this, though, was the fact that you started to find out what was actually being said in a lot of these animes. And that was about the same time I found out that a lot of the animes I watched were rewriting things when they would dub them. So what was actually said in the Japanese wasn't necessarily what was said in the English. The other thing that happened around the same time was another anime I liked a lot, Martin's successor Nadesco, decided to come out on Cartoon Network. Or I should say Cartoon Network decided to air it.
How do you like that?
Now, does it make sense to make edits for any type of sexual content, violence? Of course, it's Cartoon Network. But what they were doing was they were also doing political edits as well. Like they were editing out the main character saying,
I'm not going to get killed in some stupid war.
why were they doing these edits? Because we were in the Iraq War at the time. And they didn't want to annoy or upset anyone by having these political comments in this anime. Never mind that the people watching these animes don't care about the political commentary. But just to be on the safe side, they were editing that out. So at that point, I gave up on anything Cartoon Network wise, and I stuck to DVDs and what I was finding on the internet.
I Why me, God? Why always me?
I know, piracy, bad, but in any case, I was young, I didn't have a lot of money, and I loved anime. So over the years, my anime night continued, and I kept watching more and more anime. So I was watching a lot more subtitled anime, and the reason being is because I was enjoying the initial voices and the dialogue that was being said initially, not what someone over here decided they felt like rewriting it to be.
You want me to stop it?
That's what I just said.
Nah, you don't want me to stop it.
Yes, I do too. Oh no.
Let's shake the dew off this lily, shall we?
So I kept watching more and more anime, and I still do. I mean, really, there's not much else to say. I mean, now you've got streaming services like Crunchyroll and Funimation and Netflix and Hulu that are all showing anime. And a lot of the times they're subtitled because they're trying to get out as fast as they can to beat out the piracy. So you still have all this great anime content. But here's the thing. I'm 44 years old. Why do I still like anime? What is it about anime that as an adult, as a middle-aged adult, that I still enjoy about it? Is it just because I'm some sort of otaku for the Japanese culture and I'm just obsessed with the Japanese culture?
Animation is pictures that move in color with real sound and voices. Comics, novels, and paintings can't do that. Plus, you can do all sorts of things with the characters that you never get away with doing in live-action films or videos. That's what makes animation so unique and wonderful.
No, I mean, there might have been a time in my 20s and early 30s that might have been true, but that's not really the case now. So what is it that appeals to me about anime? The biggest thing that appeals to me about anime is they have anime for every genre. So every genre that we make TV shows, with the exception of reality TV, they've got anime for. If you're into, fantasy, they've got fantasy anime. They've got sci-fi. They got romance. They got comedy. They got drama. They've got anime that will bring tears to your eyes. They've got anime that will just get you all pumped up and having a great time. There are animes that will, you'll bust a gut laughing at.
Kurumi, I gave you an order. Battle mode now.
Who are you that you think you can boss me around, Mr. Big Mouth?
Mr. Big Mouth?
I'm sorry, is it Miss Big Mouth?
Don't be ridiculous. I'm your creator, Kurumi. You do as I say.
Huh? So you're my mother!
That was one of the great appeals to it is, as a adult, I could still enjoy a variety of types of content, but enjoy it animated-wise. While over here, we're doing animations that are either for little kids or they're for nighttime sitcoms. And that was about it. Movie-wise, yes, you had your Disney, but that's still geared a lot towards little kids. So for me, anime had all the spectrum as far as genres, but they also had all the content ratings. If you wanted anime for little kids, you could find that. You could find it for general audiences, you could find it for teenagers, you could find it for adults. Yes, they do make anime porn called hentai.
All those guys ever do is jerk off. They're so gross. Losers.
Not talking about that in this video. What I am talking about, though, is anime that would have graphic, rated R type violence or sexuality, but it's animated. It's geared towards older minds. It's not geared towards the little kids. And that's one of the things I love about it. The other thing I love about it is the animation. They do sometimes some of the most beautiful animation. They take a lot of work because anime is a big thing over in Japan. They play it during prime time. They make a lot of money on it. They absolutely take the time and the money to make some of these animes look absolutely stunning. So for me, it's great being able to see something that's so visually appealing, that has neat storylines, and it's great. If you watch stuff that's geared towards rated R animation made over here. You get stuff like the DC comic book movies, which are neat, but they're just like the comic books. Every girl looks like they ought to be a centerfold. Every guy looks like he ought to be some sort of bodybuilder who spends 8 hours a day in the gym. But over in anime, you don't have that. A lot of times the heroes could be skinny and nerds and unpopular and bullied. The girls could be of all different sizes. They could be the shy girls. They could be the outgoing girls. They could be athletic tomboys. They had all types. You almost relate a little bit more to some of these characters because of it.
Why does this always happen when I'm in a hurry? Not again! Oh, come on! See you later! I'll see you later.
Wear your helmet.
Here we go.
Another thing about anime is they also work in a lot of daily life into it as well. Almost every anime, you will find characters sitting at a dinner table eating a meal, or they'll be, if it's a school story, they'll be at lunchtime eating a meal. They really put some of the daily life into the animes, whether it be they need to take a bath every night, or they're, prepping for dinner. Whatever the case may be, they put some of the normal everyday life into it, so you start to relate a little bit more to it.
But you better take your gloves off before you eat.
Oh, sure.
Here you go.
This is good.
Do I think anime is for everyone? No, I don't think anime is for everyone. I think, for the most part, everyone could find an anime that they do like, but I don't think everyone's going to become an anime fanatic or anything like that. But I do think it's a great medium that we're starting to see Hollywood copy more. We're starting to see, the Disney characters looking a little bit more anime-like. Look at Avatar: The Last Airbender from Nickelodeon. That very much is borrowing from an anime styling. We're starting to see that this love of this Japanese medium is starting to permeate into our culture as well, which is really great, because it used to be when I was younger, if you liked anime, you were a nerd.
Well, let's get those nerds! Nerds! Nerds!
You were absolutely a nerd. That was one of those things, you had, your comic books, you had your D&D, you had your anime. Those were all classifications of nerdism. And I like it, but you were an outcast for liking this stuff. Now it's not as big of a stigma, and you can enjoy it. And people will say, well, I'm just not into it. And a lot of times they might not be. But then again, they might not be exposed to it. You have some really great storylines currently going on in some of the animes, whether it be Attack on Titan.
I refuse to die like this, understand? Armin, listen. You're still going to the outside world. The things you told me about. I have to see them. I have to. Aaron! No!
Sword Art Online.
What the hell kind of skill is that? Faster!
There's so many great storylines that are going on, but they're not always given a chance. Another thing about anime is they also vary in size. So you can have what's called OVAs, which are only like an episode or two. You have your movies. You have your TV series, which for them, a season is like an actual, season, a quarter of the year. You have your winter, you have your spring, you have your summer, you have your fall seasons. Sometimes animes will go into multiple seasons, but for them, a season of anime is like 12 or 13 episodes because it spans 3 months. You do have some outliers that get up to 50 episodes or are ongoing for hundreds of episodes. Anyone who's ever heard of Bleach or Naruto or One Piece.
You will pay the price for hurting my family, you hollow scum! Feel the wrath of my blade!
Those are examples of long-going animes that have been that went on for hundreds of episodes. Those are not as common as what you get normally with a 13 or 26 episode season. When they put out a successful anime, if they decide to do another season, it might be a few years before the next season because, again, they'll take the time to do the animation and the quality of it really well before they release the next one, because they'll be called out if the next season's animation doesn't match up to the first season's. If it got worse, they'll definitely be called out for it by the fans. So they'll take the time. So you might watch a 13 episode anime, love it, and want to see more, and it might be 2 or 3 years before you see it. Now, some of you might think, well, I don't really like that.
See ya!
Hey, wait a second!
Well, we're doing it with TV here. Westworld is what, every 2 years? American Gods was what, every 2 years? Witcher every 2 years? We are starting to get okay with that if the quality is good. And that's what they've already done with anime. If the quality is good, people don't mind waiting a little bit longer. And that's one of the nice things. A lot of the animes are also based off of Japanese comic books called mangas, or they're based off of the small little novels they call light novels. And so a lot of times the people who like the animes will go back and read the mangas or the light novels, because sometimes the animes aren't as successful as they like, and those other mediums go longer, and so they'll go and want to read the rest of the story. There are a few animes I did that with, where the stories were great, but then I found out the story kept going in the manga, and I'd end up reading the manga. And it was great, because the other great thing you have a lot of times with animes is the fact that the story and the characters will progress. They have an idea. They're going to go from here to here, and the characters are going to progress during that time. That's the idea. It's not like American comic books and American cartoons that just, however long we can make money, we're just going to churn this out.
I'm going to make the whole world my kingdom.
They generally have an overarching storyline that they want to tell. Even if some of the episodes are very episodic, they have an overarching storyline they want to tell. If you look at Dragon Ball Z, they have different sagas of storyline that they're telling. They have little filler episodes, which can be annoying at times, but they're still all connected.
That was very impressive driving, Mr. Piccolo.
So going back to why I like anime, I've been watching it my whole life. Why wouldn't I like anime? If you grew up watching sports your whole life, wouldn't you? My mom can remember the theme of Star Blazers because I was sitting on her lap watching that when I was little. She hears it, she knows what it is.
We're off to outer space. We're leaving Mother Earth to save the human race. Our Star Blazer.
And she, I don't think, knew at the time it was anime, but it was a cartoon I liked, and I wanted to sit on her lap when I was 4 years old watching cartoons, so I sat on her lap watching Star Blazers, which in anime is called Space Battleship Yamato. Robotech is Macross. Tranzor Z is Monzinger Z. So even these old type of animes, what you think, well, you've watched those all a long time ago, they're not as relevant anymore, they still get resurgence in Japan. They'll either do a remake of it, or they've even done live action. A few years back, they did a live action version of Space Battleship Yamato, which to me, growing up, again, was Star Blazers. They even recently did a really nice version of Monzinger Z updated. It was an updated movie. It wasn't retelling the story. And it was really beautiful. The animation was great. It was wonderful. So even these old properties still come back around and they still touch onto them. The Macross Saga had other animes that kept spawning from that. Macross Zero. And all these other stories that kind of built up from this universe. Some of these animes are really rich in their storyline. If you watch an anime called Gundam Seed and its sequel Gundam Seed Destiny, it's an entire sci-fi war going on between Earth and these colonies out in space of these genetically modified humans called coordinators. But the interesting thing about it is your main character is actually on the opposite side of a war from a childhood friend. So while he's trying to protect his friends and while he's getting into and piloting this giant robot, he's trying to protect his friends and these people on this ship that he kind of got thrusted with. But at the same time, he doesn't want to fight the childhood friend. He is conflicted and torn. There's so much interconnected drama that happens in this anime, and it's complex at times. And that's one of the neat things about it is it's not like what you see every time you look at Dragon Ball Z and somebody's powering up, or it's not like Pokemon or anything like that. Some of these animes are very complex. Some of these animes tell a very rich story. Some of them don't. Some are just for fun. Some are just to laugh at. But they are all different. And that's one of the great things about it. And they'll go through trends. They'll go through a trend where, oh, zombies are popular right now, or vampires are popular right now, or sci-fi and giant mechs are popular right now, or fantasy is really popular right now. They'll go through these trends just like we do. But they make such interesting stories at times that they're just fun to watch.
She looks like a demon. Are those wings?
Well, I have to admit, I did have some fun today. Considering how naive and childish you are, things could have been much, much worse. Thanks a lot for the gift, too. Very sweet. But even so...
Yuma, wait, please.
It's time to die!
So as I struggle here during this pandemic, looking for more content, one of the things I'm finding constant still and what's still coming out is anime. So while a lot of US content is delayed and pushed off and being postponed until next year or postponed indefinitely or we're waiting for things to be filmed again, I've got anime coming out. So for me, I've still got content coming out while a lot of other people are just, oh, what am I gonna watch now? Now, you still might not like it. You still might hate it. But I still enjoy it. So even if you don't like it, I like it. So I want you to know, when I sit there and talk about anime, I'm talking about a whole lifetime of experience of watching anime. From a little kid to a teenager to a young adult to a middle-aged man, I've been involved in anime. I've been watching it, I've been consuming it. I have a wide spectrum that I'm pulling from when I give my opinions about cartoons and anime.
Now you kids get out of here.
So if you're still watching this, kudos. This may have been a long rant, I don't know. But in any case, I'd like to thank you for watching this video if you have. And hopefully if you like anime and you like content like that, let me know. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are on anime. Let me know how you got into anime. Maybe you got in from a friend or Toonami or something along those lines. If you've got a unique way about how you got into anime, I'd love to hear it. And I hope to talk to you more in the future about this topic. But if you like this video, go ahead and like it, subscribe to the channel, and go ahead and check out some of the other videos that will be mentioned at the end of this video. And until next time, take care. Hi, Adam here. If you like this video, go ahead and check out our other videos. And if you like this channel, go ahead and subscribe. Hope to see you again real soon. Bye.